We are back in London now with a renovation by Covenant Construction. But first, before we see Craig and the team from Covenant Construction, I've got the homeowner Norman with me. And Norman, can you tell me first off what triggered the renovation?
Well, as you walked in, you'd gather it's a 120-year-old home. So probably that was the start of it. We had done a lot of work prior to the renovations here between the basement and the roof and everything else, but it was time to do all the nice stuff. And this was our third year in the place. And so at the end of the day, we got a hold of Craig at Covenant Construction through Myra Tour, who was our designer, and the whole team came in and had a look, and we just went with it from there, basically.
And what made you decide to give Covenant a call?
I think from the outset when they came in, they just looked familiar with the old properties from our perspective. It didn't look like anything in this house was going to surprise them. And there were tons of surprises, but at least they weren't surprised, and they just took everything in their stride when it came to that.
What was your favorite part of the renovation? So we'll take a full tour, but you've got a new kitchen, you've done a few things here and there. What was your most favorite part of the renovation?
Well, the kitchen, this kitchen was much, much darker when we first came here. So what you see now, you couldn't even imagine what it was like before. So it completely opened up the back of the house and the lights and everything else like that. So most definitely the kitchen, and I know my wife would agree with that as well.
And you did a few renovations upstairs as well?
We did some renovations upstairs. All the flooring was replaced, the doors were replaced, the bathroom, the master bathroom upstairs, and it was a pretty small bathroom, but basically that was extended as well.
So with the renovations that you did upstairs and in the kitchen, it must feel like a new home.
Completely. I mean, it's as much as we can do for the property right now.
Thank you so much, Norman. We're going to have a chat next up with Craig and Nicole from Covenant Construction. We have Nicole, we have Craig from Covenant Construction. I never know where you're going to take me, but I always know it's going to be amazing. So we're talking first major kitchen renovation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
major.
walk me through the process.
So originally the kitchen here was a dark IKEA kitchen. So the space was really tiny, really closed in. There was cabinets on both sides of the kitchen, so you couldn't get around nicely. There wasn't a lot of storage, even with all those extra cabinets. So our goal was to just open up the space, make it lighter, brighter, and make it a functional space for Norm and Sheila, somewhere they could have their family gather and cook and just enjoy the space.
And it's so bright and cheery and friendly. You've got a great view to the backyard. So everything is opened up. Did you have to do anything? Did you raise the ceilings?
Yeah, so when we came in, there was a couple things that we had to deal with. One, as Nicole said, it was quite narrow because of the cabinetry, but there's a couple other things. The ceiling had been dropped about 18 inches, and when we opened it up, we found out it was all done just because there was a single old plumbing pipe up there, and it made no sense. So we raised that up. We also gained about 12 inches on the outside wall because there had been an old chimney here that had been abandoned, but they just built the wall in front of it. So again, we gained almost 12 inches in width. So we did a lot of things like that to really make this, as Nicole said, a much bigger, much brighter space, but we actually gained some big footprint space, which isn't always the case with these old houses.
I was going to say, that does not sound like it's a normal something that you would come across.
Yeah, so we had the room that we could actually open it up, reframe new walls because there was no framing behind it, spray foam, and still gain some space, which again, as you said, is not always the case.
Yeah, and we're not talking just a kitchen renovation here. We're talking, you did the lower level here, so you did the ensuite, like a bathroom here.
Full three-piece on this level that we just updated, moved things a little bit. I think one of the Norm and Sheila's favorite things, although they say the kitchen is that we removed the header above the stairs that used to have a doorway right there, so you would literally have to almost, crouch down to come down the stairs. So we opened that up, and then upstairs we took the ensuite and expanded it only by, I think, 18 inches, but it made a huge difference in their ensuite bathroom and no real impact to the adjoining bedroom at all.
And the overall living condition itself, day in and day out, for just total transformation.
So the overall project took us about 3 months to complete. With all of the demolition we had to do, we had to fix a lot of the flooring and then some framing changes and then come in and finish the space from there.
Which overall 3 months is not a lot in terms of preparing and demo and actual construction and everything. That's not a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time. It might seem like a lot of time for the homeowners, but in the grand scheme of things, when you end up with a house that looks like this, that can be your forever home, I think it's worth it.
It's totally worth it. We always say it's worth the wait, right? Because get a certified Renomark Renovator. Very, very important. Thank you. Anything else we want to add? Well, we need to talk about the upstairs, what you've done upstairs.
Yeah, so as Norman has said, we worked with Myra Tour on this one. And so Myra really looked up there to gain, a real functional shower space. 2 sinks, and when you go upstairs and see the space at all, the size of it, you're gonna say, how did you guys come up with that? And really, as I said, that was a real team effort between Nicole and Myra, and then our guys on site squeezing out every single inch that we could. But it really looks so much bigger than it really is because it functions so well.
Well, you're a genius when it comes to space and design and everything in between. So we've seen it all here. Anything else we want to add before we depart?
No, I think that's it.
I think that's everything.
All right, thank you so much. It's another Covenant Construction renovation here on the London Home Builders Association Parade of Renovations.